Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to log in and kind of give my take on the patch notes. Um, One of the things that Grinding Gear Games said that they were going to do is they were going to identify um, uniques, or really just, yeah, uniques in certain item slots that were hampering diversity. So, in layman's terms, uniques that everyone uses and hampers the possibility that there's going to be something else in that slot, right? So, it turns out what they did is they just started, um, they messed around with other things. I looked at all the patch notes, and a lot of dual wielding stuff was impacted. Um, but not like a bow dual wielding, like dual wielding, two weapons. So anyway, as a character and as a player moving into Betrayal, I want to um, remain Toxic Arrow, right? Um, so I am gonna play Toxic Arrow in Betrayal. I was looking, at the skill tree. Um, I'm level 96 right now, so I'm only, what, 70, or 97, 98, 99, 4 points away from max spec, which you don't want to count on max spec, right? Because, it's going to take a long time to get to level 100, and you need to be able to be effective before that point, obviously. So, you want your spec to pretty much be done between 90 and 95, yeah? My spec was pretty much done at 90. I added a few others, right? I got this jewel in this dexterity slot, and I've been adding to these as well, physical and chaos damage. But now, in the patch, what did they do? They nerfed Quill Rain. I don't care for Quill Rain. I think it's silly. Part of Toxic Rain is converting physical damage to chaos damage, which means you want to stack chaos damage and physical damage for this build, right? That being said, why would you use a bow that has this super small physical damage? I understand that you get extra arrows, and that's really helpful in Toxic Rain, but I don't think it's that worth it, right? So even before they nerfed Quill Rain, I was cool with it. Like, whatever. I'm not using Quill Rain. I have one. I didn't 6-link it. I don't care about it. So let's see. 40% less weapon damage, right? So that's even less physical damage, even, going to 13 to 35. So, I don't care. Anyway, that was one of the big things. They also did some poison nerfs, which, sure, that impacts me a little bit, but if I'm being honest, most of my damage comes from chaos over time, not necessarily from poisons. So I focus on that chaos damage. I'll get poison stuff as well, right? Like I put it on my bow, poison damage. And, I have some specs to increase poison damage. Poison duration is a big one for me, right? You want it to last longer. Doesn't matter how much it hits for. If it only lasts for a tenth of a second, then shit's not going to get killed. Yeah, we got some more damage with poison over here. So, maybe I could take these poison things out and go for chaos, but you still get really good chaos modifiers from these, right? Chaos damage with attack skills. That's worth it. Poison, chaos, and physical. That's really what I'm looking to buff. So, that being said, next league is going to have some changes to the skill tree which may impact my character, right? So let's see here. Let's go to... I'm going to try to capture the screen. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick look at path of building. Right? This is going to be the next patch. Okay? So I checked, and every single one of my skill points here, none of them are changing. Every single one stays the same. 100% for my entire spec. Let's see. But if we're looking for some of the new stuff, like chaos damage over time multiplier, then we see there's some really far out of the way, and then there's some over here as well. Now, I played around with this, and these are going to give me less overall DPS at the cost of maybe 1,000 more poison DPS, or damage over time DPS. So I'm unconvinced that it's worth it. Let me go to Toxic Rain. Here we go. So the poison, or really the damage over time DPS, that would go up a little bit, a couple thousand, right? 1 or 2,000, at the cost of 500 or 1,000 average, and at the cost of a couple thousand total DPS. I'd be taking a hit on physical, and I'd be going more for chaos damage over time. So that makes sense, but I really don't think it's worth it. So, boringly, the spec I'm going to be doing next league is exactly the same as the spec. Nothing changed from the spec before. Nothing changed from the patch before. So everything's the same for me. That being said, I'm gonna go into here. I think I'm gonna try to fast track up to acrobatics. Get some mana leech on the way, and then over to the Scion life wheel. From there, hold on, let me see how many points it's going to take me. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I can hit at level 20. I don't think I'm going to be able to get a spreading route jewel until I'm at maps. So I'm probably not going to go for jewels early. It's more important that I go... So here really is the big point where I'm dissecting. This is where I'm dissecting the spec, right? Am I going over here to get acrobatics? Yes, I'm going to do that. Am I going down here to get life and poison damage? Or in mana leech? I'm not worried about this poison damage and mana leech until I start to get Toxic Rain, right? And can actually use it and do some damage with it. Up here, I'm probably going to go up here last. There's some life leech up here. And then over here is just, you know, the Scion life wheel, right? We really need to get to the Scion life wheel early. So we're going to get over there probably first. So I'll hit the acrobatics and phase acrobatics first, then I'll go down and get to the Scion life wheel. And from there I'll probably start filling this out down here, over here, and then probably up here last, just like last time. I have tried to go up here. What I essentially did was take out these points in global physical damage and chaos damage. These 5 points, and used it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, get up here a little bit. I did add extra 3 points as if I were level 99, and it still wasn't really enough to convince me to change the spec. My dot DPS went up to something like 13k, but let's see. But yeah, I don't really think it's worth it. Oh, one cool thing I do have from last league is near the end of the league I ended up getting a perfect divination distillate. It's legacy, so it still gives you the maximum elemental resistances. Couldn't sell it, and then as soon as patch notes hit, someone tried to buy it from me, which is funny. Alright, so these are the nodes. I mean, I took these 5 out and went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but that doesn't really, like, I get some more chaos damage out of it. 8, so 16 plus 3% modifier, or multiplier. I mean, 3% of a multiplier is not a significant amount. You need to start talking about 10s or 20s before it really starts doing anything. So over here we have a 10 multiplier. Down here we have an 8 multiplier. I just don't think those values are where they need to be yet. If they increase those numbers some, then I think they would be worth getting. But for now, I'm not convinced. So, I think that's about all I need for that. So I'm going to do that same spec. My buddy Toka can't get time off, so I'm going to do it first and try to get as high as quickly as possible. Get all my skill points. Try to get some good gear. It'll come. I'll die. It'll be frustrating. Whatever. Leveling a bow character, right? People hate it. But last time I leveled a bow character, I did it with my buddy who had waypoints and knowledge, so, and money, which doesn't hurt. So yeah, that's about it. Let me know if you guys have any questions or anything. I'll be streaming starting tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific, and I'll be streaming all of it. So join me then. Thanks.